Has your crafting or sewing space ever gotten so out of control that you couldn't even function anymore? I recently hit that messy beyond recognition stage. You might be wondering how it got so crazy, but I was always just finishing something, putting it down, and then starting on the next thing. So I was always working in my sewing room, but not working on my sewing room. I knew it was time to clean, reset, and organize my space to make it work for me. The key to getting a usable space is to know what you want to do in your space and then find a spot for everything. My first job was to make a plan. I sketched out the current space and I thought about what I needed and how to arrange it. My needs for a sewing area are a sewing station, a cutting station, a staging area, an ironing station, and then I'd like a desk for my computer. I also needed space to store some things, but they needed to be out of the way. The space I had was hard to maneuver around, and my sewing space was really tight, and I often used it as my computer space. The center staging area was just being in the way all the time, and it wasn't very useful because everything just kind of got plopped on top of it. Then I sketched out how I thought the new space should be arranged. It helped that I'd been thinking about it for a while. I wanted to create a central hub that was easy to get into and out of on all four of the corners. I also wanted all of my stations to be accessible and easy to get to one from the other. Putting the lights up for making videos was tricky and I was constantly moving them, so having stations be centrally located will mean less rearranging of the lights and less time spent doing it. I'll be able to get out at all four corners and everything will be within reach by just a few steps. The key to the new design will be a new computer desk. My new FlexiSpot Standing Desk is really going to make my space function the way I need it to. It will help me work more efficiently and creatively. I have a place to put my computer instead of crowding it onto my sewing machine and having to move things around every time I want to use the computer or the sewing machine. Once I had the plan in place, it was time to get to work. I need to clean it all out. Some of the stuff was leftover boxes of decor and props from the last 2 or 3 quilt camps and a recent bending show I had done. It just needed to be put back in storage. Lots of it was scraps left over from projects, and I just needed to make some scrap bags for the shop. For some of the things, I just threw them into boxes to be sorted and cleaned out later, but only 3 small boxes. Then I dusted and vacuumed and got everything clean. Having this space for storing bins will be very helpful. Once the space was cleared out and cleaned, I had the space so I could set up my new FlexiSpot standing desk. I put my sewing, ironing, and cutting stations in place, and then I had space to build my computer desk. The FlexiSpot desk came in 2 boxes, one for the tabletop and one for the hardware and leg system. The boxes were packed well, and all the pieces arrived in perfect condition. The boxes were heavy, so I knew this was going to be a sturdy table, and the directions came in the box with the hardware. I checked that all the pieces had arrived, and then I started putting it together. The directions were easy to understand, and everything I needed was included, so it was very easy to put together. There were pre-drilled holes on the underside of the table, so you knew where to line things up. I only needed help in 2 spots. First, to line up the frame onto the tabletop, and second, to flip it over when it was all put together. This desk is solid. It is made from automotive-grade steel with thickened legs, and it's very stable. The keypad has up and down arrows to raise and lower the tabletop. The range goes from 23.8 inches to 49.4 inches. It's easy to customize the height to whatever is best for whoever is using it. Even making slight changes depending on the shoes you're wearing will be easy to do. Now I gotta lower it so I don't fall off of it, hurt myself. That was a pretty smooth ride. There are 4 memory settings to use. One for sitting, one for standing, and 2 others for special uses or for different people. I'm nowhere near the 355-pound weight capacity that the table has. This was very smooth and kind of fun. I mean, I literally just laid on the table and raised and lowered it, and it worked perfectly. was kind of fun. My kids would have been all over this when they were younger. I will be able to use the desk in a sitting position or a standing position. That'll come in handy when I'm going back and forth between writing a pattern and sewing at the sewing machine. If I wasn't using it for a computer desk, I could also use it for a sewing station. It would be perfect for that. And you can either stand up while you're sewing or you can sit down while you're sewing. No matter what kind of chair you have, it'll work with any of them because it's completely adjustable. My favorite thing about my FlexiSpot desk is that it is infinitely adjustable to make whatever you're doing ergonomically correct, saving your neck and back from strain. It's also very stable and solid and has a 15-year warranty, and it comes in a variety of desktop finishes and either a white or black base. I chose the bamboo top and the black base. So make sure you check out the FlexiSpot website to see the E7 Standing Desk options and browse their Black Friday sale event. We will leave a link in the description below, and we have a unique discount code for you to save $30 off. I love my FlexiSpot desk because when I'm tired of sitting, I can easily raise the desktop to use it while standing, and I can just keep working. It's truly a multi-use kind of table because if I don't want to use it for my computer desk, I could always use it for my sewing table. Once my computer desk was in its space and I also had my sewing machine, ironing station, and cutting station all set up, I moved in some of the little things and just made some finishing touches to my sewing space. Now that my sewing space is refreshed and cleaned up, I'm ready to rock out and make some great videos and make headway on my projects of the month. Now I just have to keep it clean. Let me give you a quick tour of how my sewing space works now. So right here, I have my sewing table and I can put the leaves all the way out, and there's storage underneath, which is really nice. I'm going to try to keep this clear. And the nice thing is with my new table, I don't have to set up my computer here and kind of clean and go back and forth between the two things. And over here is my design wall. So that's just a few steps away from my sewing machine and I can look at it. It'll be nice and handy. And I have a little staging area there. That table has whatever I'm working on, my notes, notebooks, extra stuff that I need to have close by. The nice thing is when I'm in this inner area, the central hub, everything's within a few steps from each other, so it'll be nice and handy. I have my ironing board set up here, and I've got a little storage underneath that too, which is helpful to have extra stuff. At the end of this ironing station, I have my little table I used when I'm making videos. It's got the arms that I use to hold the camera while I'm filming. So the nice thing is this is on wheels. I can move it to any of the stations that I need to film. So very handy. And then over here in the corner, I have a little storage space, and that's where I've got the bins of the things that I'm working on and my strips. And it's kind of tucked out of the way, so not a lot of people will have to look at it, and it'll look nice now that it's all in bins. And here is my cutting table, which I can also use as a desk if I need to, but always set up with the arm for when I'm filming. And then finally, of course, my new computer desk, which I can use either standing or sitting, and this is the piece that makes the rest of the room work. So that's the sewing space as I now know it. We hope you'll remember to hit the like button, leave a comment for us, tell us how you're going to clean your sewing room, share with your quilting friends, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and happy quilting!